but they've got special channels now for basketball, football.
He was like, no, come on.
I'm not on those.
No, that's not what happened.
Yeah, I missed a lot of the seasons.
Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to Cleveland High School, site of the Varsity City Relays. Today, all the PIL schools will be in action in all relay events, both track and field. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Hall. I'll be doing the play-by-play today, as such as it is. Working with me, Connor Bergen. He's a student here at Cleveland High School. Worked with me during one of the
I've missed so much
basketball games. The unique format of this event is, one, all the PIL schools are here. Benson, Franklin, Cleveland, Wilson, Lincoln, Madison, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Grant. Wilson won both the boys and the girls last year. But every event is a relay event. Now you say, how do track and field get to be relay events? How do the field events get to be relay events? Well, they just add up the totals of 3 participants for each team. So this should be an interesting event today, Connor.
Yeah, it definitely should. Actually, there's only 2 events in this district meet that are going to be in the state championships later on this year. That's the 4x100 and the 4x400.
There's actually some events in here that are quite unusual. Some I'm not even sure if I've ever seen before. One is called the distance medley relay, and the runners run 1,200 meters, 400 meters, 800 meters, and 1,600 meters. Altogether, 4,000 meters in that relay race. So we're just about ready. We've got some preliminary field events going on. I know the women's pole vault is going on. The discus preliminaries have been going on, but we're almost ready for the start of the men's and women's 400 meter relays. Like you said last year, Wilson won both of these events. Any outstanding athletes that we should look for today?
Today, there's some state champion competitors on the track today. Donahue from Grant High School. She's a senior. She won the. I'm sorry, I'm looking for it in my notes.
Well, I know she's won the cross country. Has she won the mile?
She won the 800 meter state championship last year and the 1500 meter state championship. And then in long jump, Harrison Scroggy, a senior from Grant, won state long jump last year.
Connor, you're a student here at Cleveland. How's Cleveland's track record this year?
Well, the season's young for everybody. They've only had one other meet. And then actually the coaches said it's a little unsure of how it's going to go today because they had the one meet, 2 practices, then spring break, and then 2 practices, another meet. So it's very early on. Not a lot of action yet, but they lost 3 of their top runners on the guys' side, Robo Soltessa, Peter Kurtz, and Nabi Amin. Robo was actually a state champion runner for Cleveland last year. So we got some big shoes to fill.
All right, there's a few unusual rules in the relay event, particularly in the field events because of the nature of the fact that they're relay. For example, in the pole vault, they're going to take the 3 participants and they'll accumulate their score. Same thing in the high jump. In the pole vault, there's a preliminary height that each one of the jumpers has to reach. 9 feet for the boys, 6 feet for the girls. Also in the high jump, each person will get 3 attempts at those. The pole vault event is going on right now, and if you look, I think Orlando's got some pictures maybe across the field for us of the women's pole vault that's going on over there. Like I said, we're waiting for the start of the 4x 400 meter relay. The 4x100. We've seen a lot of the athletes practicing down on the field. There's a lot of athletes here. Of course, 9 schools in the PIL and everybody here.
It's a full house today. And then keep in mind, folks at home, you can check out on athletictiming.net live results of each event as it's going on.
All right, and you'll update us on that too, Connor, while we get those going. So I want to thank Mike Shanahan, the athletic director here at Cleveland High School, who's helped us get started here. We'll get the lane assignments for you when they line up. They just did the last call for the 4x100 meter relay. Each participant runs 100 meters. Of course, they have to pass the baton during the the tiny box where they can pass those in. If you fail to do that, you're disqualified. So,
Yeah, Grant men's team won this event last year with a 42.8. They also finished second in state in this event, but 3 of the runners from that team were seniors and graduated. So again, it's wide open. And then they also won the 4x200 last year at this PIL relay.
all right, you can see the runners are pretty much set now for the men's 400-meter relay. We've got the start down here. Got the first pass off will be over there. Second pass off will be over here, and the last pass off will be in the corner for the home stretch, and we'll try to cover that for you as it goes on. We're waiting for the gun for that. Runners are down, they're set. There's the gun, and we're off. Runners coming up on the first handoff. All right, we're in the back stretch now.
Grant
coming
pulling
up.
into the lead.
We're coming up on the third transfer, and that does look like Grant out in the lead. They'll come home for the final transfer. Runners around the corner.
Grant's pulling away around this final corner. Roosevelt closely behind, I think.
Roosevelt looks pretty good. There's the handoffs on the last pass off. And here we go.
No, that's Lincoln. Lincoln is second, Grant in first.
Grant pulling away, and that's going to be a sweep for Grant. All right, our first track event is over, the 400-meter relay. The winner in that is Grant.
And then, yeah, it's the Grant relay team on the track right there. Cassius Pettit on the first leg, LaMarcus Johnson second, Michael Greenan on the third, and then Harrison Scroggy on the fourth, pulling away. There's the state champion. You showed his speed.
He's a tall runner, and he had long strides.
Completely blew away from the pack in the home stretch.
Completely. Do we have a time on that yet, or?
No time posted yet.
And coming up is going to be the women's 400-meter relay. And you're right on that race, Connor. It looked pretty close coming into the final pass-off of the baton, and Grant just pulled away from that.
Yeah, and then that was heat one of that race. Only Madison, Wilson, Lincoln, Grant, and Roosevelt were schools competing in that one. But in heat two coming up later, Benson, Jefferson, Franklin, and Cleveland will also be competing.
Okay. So we'll have another heat, and then we'll have a final.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so let's see what we got here. Is this the second heat of the men's? I believe so.
I was off by,
Oh, the time?
800 to a second different from her time, from the other timer's time.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen now. We have the
sir.
second heat of the men's.
Thanks.
If we would have had all the teams out there the first event, that would have been 9 runners.
Yeah.
I think they...
Too many lanes there. Or not enough lanes, sorry.
So what I think there were 5 teams in that heat, and there'll be 4 teams in this event.
Yep. Then running the first leg in lane 3, that's Abdi Hussein for Benson. Lane 4, Romeo Akil for Jefferson. Lane 5, Mike Mendez for Franklin. And then for Cleveland, lane 6, Vincent Collins.
All right. Connor, of course, from Cleveland. He'll be watching that one closely. And Connor, the treat is, this is the 400-meter relay. Next, we have what I was talking about earlier, that medley distance relay.
The long one.
The long one where the runners, the legs are 1,200 meters, 400 meters, 800 meters, and 1,600 meters. So we'll run the second heat of the men here. Then we'll run the women in the 400-meter. Then we'll run both men and women in the distance medley.
Also, they both go at the same time?
No.
Okay, my bad.
I know, but that's a long run for the women.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. We've not got the runners down yet.
I don't think I would take a shot at the distance medley relay.
Yeah, I get tired driving 1,600 meters. As Connor was mentioning earlier, there's only two events here in the relays that actually translate into the same kind of event at the state meet. One is the 4x100,
Yep.
the 400
That's what
meter
we're watching
relay,
right now.
and then the 1,600 meters, the 4x400.
Yep. Yeah, which Cleveland actually won the 4x400 last year, but again, like I said earlier, 3 of those runners
Won it at
left
state.
for graduation. No, they didn't win at state. They won it at this event.
All right, we'll see. Runners are in the box. All right, runners are going to get in the block. Runners are down and set.
No, I'm good.
Guys, back.
Actually, the runner for Jefferson, Romeo Kill, isn't out on the track, so it's just going to be Benson, Franklin, and Cleveland.
And there's the gun. Runners are off. 3 teams in this heat. It's Benson, Franklin, and Cleveland, right?
Yep.
All right, there's the first handoff. And somebody dropped one. Now we're down to 2 runners. Benson, I believe, dropped the baton.
Yep.
Here comes the second handoff. Cleveland and Franklin. Franklin out ahead in this right now.
And Franklin's pulling away.
Here we come to the last handoff. There's the handoff. Here comes Franklin. Franklin and Cleveland, the only 2 teams left. Franklin pulling away.
That's Amir McGee finishing it off. Also the team's running back and starting varsity point guard, only a sophomore. Gabe Nepper coming in second there and finishing it off for Cleveland.
The first handoff, Benson dropped the baton, and that was the end of that.
Yeah,
So,
automatic disqualification. Only two teams out on the track for that one.
I guess that's a good warning from the PA announcer. If you're not running in an event, stay off the track.
Yeah, no. Definitely seen some bad videos of people getting wiped out by runners before.
All right, this is the 400 meter relay. Now I think
Now it's going to be the girls 400 heat 1. Or sorry, girls 4x100.
the 4x100, and it looks like there's 4 teams out there right now for this heat. All right, there's 5 teams in this heat.
And then the results from that last relay, heat number 2, Franklin clocking in at 46.2, Cleveland second place 47.52.
Substantially off the Grant time in the first heat.
Yeah.
All right, this is the women's 4x4 or 400 meter relay. 4x100. Starter is out. Starter is out. Runners are down and set. Starter has the gun up.
Lane 2 for Grant, we have Zoe Shaw. Lane 3 for Roosevelt, Miranda Babcock. Lane 4 for Benson, Jaleesa Turner. Lane 5, Madison, Audrey Casso. And then lane 6, Wilson, Brennan Buckwalter. They're
All
off.
right. Runners are approaching the first handoff. First handoff complete.
Oh, good handoff. Good handoff.
Looks like everybody got the baton away. Here we come up to the second handoff.
Wilson out in front, but Grant making a move to the top.
Come on, just come up close. Come up close, Charity. Let's see the handoff.
All right, that's Wilson, a big lead.
No, that's Grant.
I'm sorry, Grant with a big lead.
Blowing him away. Wilson in second, Benson in third. It's going to be a race for second and third, and it looks like Benson just edged out Wilson.
Good time, lady. Good time.
All right, that's our first heat in the women's 4x100 meter relay.
And the results are in: Grant first place 50 seconds, Benson second place 51.79, Madison third place 51.88, and then Roosevelt and Wilson.
I don't think Roosevelt finished the race.
Yeah, I don't think Roosevelt finished.
And this will be the second heat in the women's 4x100.
We're here in lane 3. In the back, we have Opal Odenberg for Cleveland. Lane 4, Sarah Nasson for Lincoln. Lane 5, Jones for Jefferson. Lane 6, Erica Deckler for Franklin.
All right, just to kind of update you, the distance medley relay is coming up after this. We'll have the 4x200 relay, and then after that is what they call the sprint medley relay. That'll be 2 100-meter legs, a 200-meter leg, and then a 400-meter leg. So that's the sprint medley relay. One of the interesting events in here that I saw near the end is going to be what's called the hurdle relay medley. And 3 runners are going to run the 110-meter hurdles.
Yep.
So we're ready for the second leg of the women. Four teams in this race. Well, so far, Connor, Grant looks to be the class of what we've seen so far.
Yeah, they've swept each event so far.
We're off. First handoff coming up, runner set. And there's the handoff. Everybody looks pretty bunched up right there in the beginning. And here we go down the backstretch. Second handoff coming up. Around the corner. And now they start to separate. Here we come up for the last handoff.
Looks like Lincoln pulling away in front. They've had the lead the whole time.
Lincoln way away.
It's going to be Grant finishing second. Franklin in third, Cleveland in fourth.
All right, that's the second leg of the women.
Wait, sorry, no, that wasn't.
Hey,
Who finished second there? That wasn't Grant, I don't think. That was Benson.
Benson,
Sorry.
I believe. Blue and yellow?
Yeah.
Okay, there we got it. It was Benson then. So we've completed the men's 4x100 meter relay. We've completed the women's 4x100 meter relay. The winner in both those events, Grant.
Yes. But actually, that was just for the heat one, or heat. They won their heat.
Oh, all right. Right, you heard that. That's the final call then for the distance medley for men. And again, that's a strange combination. The runners are going to be running. They'll start off with kind of an interim distance at 1,200 meter. You know, so you got to have some of the speed of an 800 and get some of the staying power of the 1,600. So the leadoff run will go 1,200 meters, then a 400 meter, then an 800 meter, and the last runner a 1,600 meters. So
Yeah, and I like
that'll be 6 or 4 laps around the track.
Yeah, I like this event because we'll be able to actually name the runner between each baton pass.
Right, that first runner is going to run 3 laps. The second runner is going to run a lap. The third runner will run 2 laps. And the last runner will run 4 laps of the track. So they've called for the men. Right down below us, we're watching some of the, well, I think it's some of the warm-ups for the javelin. Let's see what we got lined up down here at the start.
And then a correction earlier, when we were talking about each heat that they're doing, heat 1 and 2, they aren't going to have a final heat later on. They're just comparing the times to each heat.
All right, so that's the official word. They run in heats, but they're just going to compare the times in the heats to have a winner, first place.
Oh, wait. That is...
I think that's right.
No, that is right. Yep, sorry.
That is right. So we can officially say, I believe, that the winner of the 400 meter for the men is Grant.
Yeah, Grant by a long shot.
By a long shot, and the winner of the 400 meter for the women is Grant.
Oh, really?
Yes, that is right, because they're announcing the distance medley relay. With the last runner, in effect, running 1,600 meters, running a mile, there's a chance to make up a lot of distance in this race.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's over until it's over.
Yeah. We actually have a total of 14 running events, men's and women's running events here in these relays, and these are the varsity city relays. All the teams from the PIL are here. Kind of a chance for everybody to get together at the same time and compete.
Yeah, it's a good, one of the earliest events of the year. Good to get a gauge of where you are.
There's 2 field events going on here. In front of us is the javelin. And remind everybody, this is an artificial surface here at Cleveland High School. So the javelins, of course, are rubber tipped. So there's no sticking the javelin and see it stand up like you do a lot. And then across the field from us is the discus event going on. All right, we're underway in the distance medley relay. These first leg of runners are going to run 1,200 meters. So they're going to run basically 3 laps of the track.
And this is only going to be one heat, probably given the length of the race. But there's going to be multiple runners from multiple schools out there. Benson has 2 runners out there, while Madison. Oh, I'm struggling to find this in the notes section.
Okay, I'm not quite sure either because, well, they don't have to line up in lanes, so it looks to me like there's 12 runners out there right now. So as Connor said, some of the schools have multiple runners. Dave Holloland with Connor Bergen here at the Varsity City Relays. You're on OregonSportsBeat.com. We're proud to bring you this PIL relay.
That's Cleveland in front, Noah Adams, a senior.
And this will complete 400 meters. They still have 2 more laps to go before they pass that baton off to the second leg. Second leg will be a 400-meter runner, and that's somebody who will be running pretty much open throttle the whole way. And now we're starting to spread out a little bit, but Cleveland's still in the lead, it looks like. Well, now a couple of runners pull ahead of the Cleveland runner.
Yep, that's Wilson and Lincoln head in the pack right now.
Wilson and Lincoln, they're coming down for the second lap here in the first leg of the distance medley relay. Wilson in the lead. 1 more lap to go for these runners. couple of runners who are near the back, and they better pick it up a little bit. They're going to get lapped.
Yeah. Luckily for Grant, they do have somebody up with the pack. And then Adams starting to make a comeback again on the outside. He started off in front, fell to the middle of the pack, and now he's looked like he's making his move.
All right, these runners are coming down for the third lap on the first leg, and there will be a baton pass here. You see the runners are lined up for the baton pass.
Adams for Cleveland's making his pass, just past Wilson.
Adams from Cleveland in the lead, then Wilson, then Grant. Here they come down for the handoff, and there's the first pass. We're off on the second leg, and this is a 400-meter leg. So these runners will be going considerably faster than the runners were going on the first leg. The third leg after this will be an 800-meter. And then we'll cap it off with a miler going 1,600 meters. All right.
Cleveland off to a big lead. That's junior Peter Gregory.
And he is lapping the tail runners of the first leg. Here comes Gregory. He's a what, Connor? What year is he?
Junior three-sport athlete, one of the main players on the basketball and soccer team at Cleveland.
And opening up a big lead down the line. Here's going to be the second handoff. This will start the third leg, and it's 800 meters.
Good job, Davis.
All right, third leg underway, 800 meters, 2 laps of the track.
Sorry.
With runners getting past here, it's a little hard to keep track of who's on what lap. But it's clear Cleveland off to a big lead.
Yep, Wilson trailing behind a little bit, followed by Grant. But again, that last leg's so long, it's not out of the picture yet for anybody.
Exactly. So Cleveland about to finish lap 1 of the third leg.
Let's go.
That's Kieran Moreland finishing off for Cleveland. He's going to hand it off to Gelato Soltesa.
All right, Cleveland's still off to a big lead.
What's going on here?
And as they come down the backstretch, make the turn for home, then they'll make the pass off for the fourth leg. And again, that fourth leg, 1,600 meters, four laps of the track. It looks like the leader has been able to keep the lead, although I think maybe losing a little bit of that lead right now.
Yeah, Franklin's making a move, it looks like.
So that's Cleveland out in front, Franklin in second, Grant in third.
Near the end of the 800.
Here comes the pass off, and this will be a miler going now.
And Cleveland and Franklin about even as they start the final leg. Wilson in third, Benson in fourth.
So it's Cleveland, Franklin, Wilson, and Benson.
Yep.
All right. And again, 4 laps of the track. And now Cleveland and Franklin runners have opened up a big lead. Runners come around the last turn here. On the first lap of the fourth leg, the 1,600 meters. There's Cleveland, Franklin, Wilson, and then is that Madison?
It's a little bit hard to tell.
Well, we'll catch that when they come around the next side. All right, second leg underway. Again, this is 4 laps. I'm sorry, second lap of the 4th leg, and this is the second lap. There's our leaders out there still, Cleveland and Franklin. Who's this running for Cleveland, Connor?
Gelato Slotessa Sr., actually the brother of state champion runner for Cleveland last year, Roba Soltessa.
Now, is he a regular miler? 1,600 meters?
Yeah, he's definitely got it in him.
All right, the 2 runners still together. That's Wilson and Franklin. Now we've got 2 runners coming up, and that is the Wilson runner
The Lincoln runner.
and the Lincoln runner. So now it's Lincoln, Franklin, Cleveland, and Wilson. All right, this is lap 3 of 4 laps on the 4th leg.
Now Soltessa dropping back into 3rd place for Cleveland.
Lots of strategy going on here. Do I want to run up front? Do I want to run just off the leader's shoulder? But so far, the first 4 runners have kept pretty good contact with each other. Often this is decided by who's got the kick coming down the straightaway on the last lap. All right, here come our runners. They're coming up to get to run the last lap in this distance medley relay.
Soltessa dropping far back into 4th place now. Wilson takes control.
Wilson in the lead. That's Wilson, Franklin, Lincoln, and Cleveland. Looks like a 2-man race now. Wilson and Lincoln. I'm sorry, Wilson and Franklin, and now the Franklin runner pushes out front. He looks like he wants to kick. He started early. Around the turn. This is the distance medley relay, the men's distance medley relay. Keep in mind, the women will run this same race in a minute. All right, here's Franklin, and the runner's turning it on. This is going to be a win for Franklin.
He started the kick about halfway through that final lap and carried it all the way through.
So it's Franklin 2nd, Cleveland 3rd, Lincoln 4th. And here comes the rest of the finishers.
The times coming in for this race, Franklin 10 minutes 31 seconds, Wilson 10:35, Cleveland 10:42, Lincoln 10:44, Grant 10:59.
Right, so the winner in this race, Wilson, 2nd, Franklin, 3rd.
No, sorry, actually it was Franklin 1st place.
I'm sorry, Franklin.
10:31.
Yeah, Franklin 1st.
Oh no, it's like 6 bummer.
Nice race. All right, we're gonna do this for the women.
Yeah, Cleveland had the big lead after the first 2 legs after the 400. Then Franklin and Wilson came up, and Wilson ends up coming away with the victory.
It looked to me like the runner, the Wilson runner who won, had still a lot left.
Yeah, he started that kick about halfway through that last lap. I didn't know if he would have enough gas to finish it off, but he did and got a sizable enough lead.
Okay, we got 10 minutes on that, right? 4,000 meters in 10 minutes. Not bad. But the women are going to run this race now. So, Connor, I think you mentioned earlier, the rule here is that a runner can't run in more than 4 races.
Yes, yeah. I was talking to the Cleveland coach yesterday who was saying that athletes are only allowed to compete in up to 4 events, and the Cleveland strategy for this PL relay meet was to have all their runners only compete in the no more than 1 or 2 events so they can give it their best shot on those events.
Okay. Oh, I wasn't quite sure what the PA announcer was saying there. She said we still have runners on the track. There are still people finishing the distance medley. I think we have one runner here in front of us who still has to finish, and we have another runner over in turn 3 who's still running.
You said it was a long race.
You know, these runners are finishing, Connor.
Yep.
They're finishing, and you have to, you have to give a lot of respect. That kid who's out there now in last place, well behind everybody, he's going to finish.
Yeah, I don't think I could finish this 69. So.
Here he comes down, and he'll finish the race. And kudos to him. Right here he is coming down. The one still running is coming down. And there he is. There he finishes. All right. So now we'll get the women lined up, and we'll start the distance medley relay. After this, we'll run the 4x200, the 800-meter relay. And that's another race where everybody will be running full out.
Bit quicker pace than the 4,000.
As we've been going through this, Connor, I've noticed names that I recognize from football. There's a lot of football players who run track.
Yeah, no.
You mentioned Amir McGee from Franklin.
Yeah.
And a very talented athlete.
Yeah, 3-sport athlete, basketball and football. Only a sophomore, too. A lot of these athletes, great way to stay in shape in the offseason, run track or cross country or something like that.
While we're talking about that, I know you and I did the Franklin-Cleveland game. Were you surprised at Franklin's result in the playoffs?
Not at all. I mean, the PIL showed that they can compete with anybody this year. I wasn't surprised that Franklin was able to take down Lake Oswego the first round, and then Jefferson made it all the way to the Final Four, only team to give Westland a bit of a game in that tournament.
A lot of sports writers around town have been talking about the PIL in basketball, and a lot of those writers think next year is the year.
Yeah, I mean, with Franklin, they had 4 sophomores.
Chapman,
6'7", McGee, the point guard, and Marcus Cunningham, who hit the game-winning shot against Lake Oswego. All of them were sophomores, so they're going to be back next year better. Then Jefferson was a young team this year, and they made it all the way to the Final Four.
PIL had a run there for a long time. Not a lot of people gave them a lot of respect. The basketball teams are very good. The football teams are getting much better. See Lincoln's run last year, and Wilson played pretty good last year. They are going to be good in those areas. I think the PIL is making a real comeback in sports. Evidence here, this rally today. Look how many athletes we got out from these schools to participate in track and field.
Yeah, but then just looking at the results of state championships earlier today, and PIL had a lot of athletes placing last year, a lot of winners. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're getting ready for the start of the women's distance medley relay. Again, the 4 legs in this race are 1,200 meters, 400 meters, 800 meters, and 1,600 meters. So we'll get this underway in just a second. Runners are all lined up. What a great day for a track meet.
Yeah, we lucked out with the weather. Weeks and weeks of rain, and then the nicest day of the year falls on the track meet.
This is the finish line.
And this is a great facility, too. How long has this track been here?
Can't speak specifics, but I think mid-2000s.
All right, the runners are underway. First leg, 1,200 meters, 3 laps of the track. So when the men ran this, we had about 4 or 5 different leaders during the course of the race.
Yeah, it's going to fluctuate with a race this long.
All right, 1,200 meters, the first leg. As they head down the backstretch, all of the women pretty much bunched up there. Coming around the turn here for the first lap.
Hey guys, go around. Go around. Go back that way and go around.
All right. And we've got 3 leaders.
Yeah, that's Lincoln in first, Grant second, Franklin in third. And then a second Lincoln team coming in fourth.
The Franklin seems to be doing very well today.
Yeah, they've definitely been placing near the top in every race we've done so far.
All right, that's the first lap of the first leg, which is 1,200 meters. We're waiting for the... All right, this is the distance relay for men. Grant in 5th. Fourth place was the Lincoln A squad. So your runner from Cleveland held on for 3rd place in the distance medley relay. Wilson finishes in 2nd place in that distance medley relay for men, and 1st place, Franklin High School.
Right now we got Lincoln, Grant, Franklin all staying close together in that pack of 3 up in front.
This is the 2nd lap of the first leg in the distance medley relay. That leg is 1,200 meters, and there is Lincoln, Franklin, and Grant out front. So one more lap for these runners.
Come on, Anna.
Looks like Grant's struggling to stay with the pack right now. Now she's making her move.
All right, this is the last lap of the first leg, and the 3 runners that were out front now have really opened up that lead. They're half of the back stretch in front.
Grant made the move on Franklin there to take 2nd place, so now it's Lincoln and Grant, the top 2. Franklin trailing off behind now.
Connor pointed that out. The 2 runners from Lincoln and Grant have pulled away. Franklin in 3rd place. Coming down the final stretch here on the first leg.
Now Grant's looking like she's going to make a move on Lincoln.
Now, this 2nd leg is 400 meters, so these are sprinters coming up here on this 2nd leg.
Now Grant's pulled into front as they finish off that first leg.
Here we go. The sprinters are away on a 1 lap around the track. Grant's still in the lead. Lincoln 2nd. Now a long distance but to 3rd place. That 3rd place again is Franklin. The Franklin runner kind of stretching it out, trying to cut some of that lead.
Yeah, she's making a move, covering some distance, and that looks like she's coming into 1st.
These are sprinters. These are the 400-meter people.
Lincoln pulls in front. going a little bit of back and forth between Grant and Lincoln right now.
The Lincoln runner has opened up about a 10-yard lead. They're coming down. There'll be a handoff now, and the handoff will be to the 800-meter runners. They'll run 2 laps of the track. This is the third leg of the distance medley relay. Franklin kind of slowing down a little bit, and there's the handoff.
Now Lincoln opening up a big lead on Grant.
That's Lincoln out and away in the lead. Grant's second. Franklin third. Down the backstretch. 2 laps in this leg.
But again, I think Cleveland was pretty well off in the lead at this point in our last race, and
They
still
were.
they ended up in third.
They were. Keep in mind, after this will be the 4x200 meter relay. Here we come down the stretch down for the, no, I'm sorry. This is only the first lap
Yep.
on this leg. One more lap. And the Franklin runner has just about caught up with Grant again.
Yeah, coming back into the pack. Definitely still in striking distance of the Lincoln runner.
So our standings again, Lincoln in first place, Grant and Franklin pretty much running even. They head into turn 3. They'll come down here through turn 4 and then race to the finish line to make a handoff to start our final leg.
And it will look like Lincoln will hold that lead into the final leg.
So it's Lincoln, Grant, and Franklin. And the handoff will be to the milers, 1,600 meters this final leg, 4 laps of the track.
Franklin just finished their handoff in third place. And then coming in fourth, finishing is Wilson's relay team.
All right, 4 laps of the track again. It is Lincoln, Grant, and Franklin. And now the Lincoln runner has lost a little bit of her lead, maybe half of the lead she had.
Yeah, Grant started to make a comeback on the outside.
Is this, who's this running for Grant? Is this Donahue?
I'd have to check the name, but wouldn't be surprised with that speed.
All right, we've finished 1 lap on the 4th leg. Grant, Lincoln, and Franklin, the first 3 runners.
Now Grant's starting to open up a sizable lead.
Now Grant has opened up a pretty big lead. So again, it's Grant, Lincoln, and Franklin. Those are the first 3 runners. They're on the backstretch.
That's not Donahue. That's Margot Lechner for Grant.
All right. Great job of opening up a lead.
Now you can feel a little bit better about the lead in the final leg of this race than you could
Exactly.
in the first.
Exactly. All right, we're just about ready to complete the second lap on the fourth leg of the distance medley relay. Again, Grant, Lincoln, and Franklin. Those have been the three runners up at the front pretty much the entire race.
Let's go, Eleanor.
We're coming in on 10 minutes and 40 seconds. This is about when the first guys started finishing up the race.
Okay, and we're in the middle of the third lap, so. Well, has the Grant runner lost some of the lead she had?
I think that's actually, I think she lapped one of the second Lincoln relay teams.
Yeah, there you are. All right, that's the case. And she's opened up a bigger lead. She was just lapping a second Lincoln runner. But again, it's Grant, Lincoln, and Franklin. Here comes the Grant runner right in front of us. And she'll have one more lap to go.
And then Franklin making a pass on Lincoln for the second place right now.
The Franklin runner just passed the Lincoln runner here straight in front of us. And so now it is Grant, Franklin, and Lincoln.
Can anybody catch Grant right now? They're gonna have to pull out an extraordinary final lap.
She has a very, very straight up running style.
She's maintaining that lead. Meanwhile, Franklin's starting to pull away in second from Lincoln.
All right. I don't think there's any way that she's going to lose this race now. She's halfway through the third turn.
She's just lapped two more runners, too.
Just lapped two more runners. Although, if look behind her, look where the Franklin runner is. She's picked up her pace quite a bit.
She's definitely covering some ground, but I don't think it's going to be enough to pass up Grant right now.
So that's going to be our finish. We come up here right now, and Grant will win the women's distance medley. Franklin runner picked up a lot of ground here at the end, will finish second, and Lincoln will finish third. Grant, Franklin, and Lincoln.
Coming in 13:08, first place for Grant, 13:14, second place for Franklin, 13:20 for Lincoln. And then our Wilson runner coming in at fourth. That relay team finishes with 13:25.
All right, Connor, we've run 4 races so far. We have 4 winners. 3 of them are Grant.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice a trend here.
Does it seem, Franklin, Grant, they're out in front of almost all these races. The next race coming up is going to be the men's 4x200. This will be the 5th relay event. It'll be the men's 4x200. That's a 4-turn event, stagger start.
Which again, a lot shorter than that 4,000 meter relay we just got done with.
It'll be a 10th. From 4,000 meters to 400 meters. Thanks for joining us for the Varsity City Relays here at Cleveland High School. I'm Dave Hall along with Connor Bergen. We'll be bringing you many sports events here this year on Oregon Sports Beat. Tune in and catch them. If you can't catch us live on OregonSportsBeat.com, you can catch us. We'll be on cable TV, and you can find the listings for that.
Then our last runners for this race just finished up. Wilson's speed team coming in 14:19. Grant 14:34. Actually, we have one more runner, sorry. And I think that's Madison finishing off the race with 15:15.
All right, we're getting set for the men's 800 meter, 4x200. Interest in track, of course, big this year. This is an Olympic year. Olympics will be in Rio de Janeiro if they ever can get that place cleared up.
Heat one, listen up, gentlemen. Heat one, guys. Okay, heat one. Okay, ready to go. Listen up, guys.
So this is 4x200 meters.
Yeah, but then this is going to be again where we have two heats. So in heat one, it's going to be athletes from Franklin, Roosevelt, Jefferson, Madison, and Benson. Then heat two will have Cleveland, Wilson, Lincoln, and Grant.
Sounds like a list of great presidents.
Yeah.
Right, this is 4x200 meters, the 800 meter relay, 2 laps of the track. This will be heat one. Again, they'll run 2 heats, and it'll be they'll just compare the times from the heat. There'll be no runoff.
Start the 200 right now. Runner number 2. Start the 200. Yeah, nobody's waiting for him. Okay, number 3 runner.
Nothing worse than missing a call.
Yeah.
The PA announcer announces that the start of the race is imminent. It's called the call, and if you're not there when the gun goes off to start the race.
I just hope nobody tried to go stop at McDonald's pre-race.
Across the street?
They might miss that early call.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we're in the stagger start. The athletes are in the blocks. We're not down and set yet. In fact, the starter's talking to a couple. The pass will occur right across from us. This is the Varsity City Relays. Again, every event in this meet is a relay, including the field events are relays.
Yeah, only event like this all year, where it's all team scoring.
I like it. I like the idea of relay events. Gets everybody involved, more athletes involved. Right, there's the whistle. Let's see what the starter's doing. He's lining everybody up. 4x200 meters on the relay. It's a sprint for everybody. Runners are down. They're in the blocks and set. Let's see if the starter puts up his hand with the gun. The starter's taking everybody out. The runners are up. There they go. All right, handoff is coming up here in about 20 yards. And there's the handoff, runners away. That looks like that's Grant in the lead. Am I right there? Is that Grant?
That might actually be Benson. Yeah, that's Benson in the
Oh,
lead.
sorry, Benson. Grant not in this heat. That's Benson in the lead.
Madison
Coming
trailing closely behind.
Coming up for the third leg. Here comes the handoff.
Benson maintaining that lead. They're pushing away a little bit. Got a lot of speed on this third leg for Benson.
Somebody's out. There's only 3 runners over there.
No, I think she's just far behind in the back.
Oh, okay.
There's the fourth handoff. Benson's still in the lead.
Benson flying. This is going to be a good time for Benson. They've got about a 20-yard lead. The Benson runner on the inside. Here he comes down the stretch.
It's breaking away. Roosevelt in second. Madison in third.
Benson, Roosevelt, and Madison. That's the finish for the first heat of the 4x100. And here comes our fourth runner. There must have been
Franklin runner.
a Franklin runner.
He's going to finish it off.
So Benson the winner in heat number 1.
Benson with a time of 1:36.05.
1:36.05, the time for Benson in the first
Roosevelt
heat.
1:38.17. Madison 1:38, and then Franklin 1:50.
All right, this will be the heat that has Grant in it.
Runner number 1. Stay in your lanes all the way. That yellow stay.
Our next event coming up after this is the sprint relay, and that should be an exciting event. That event has its 2 legs at 100 meters, 1 leg at 200 meters, and 1 leg at 400 meters.
Yeah,
So-
with the relay with distances that short, a lot's going to be focused on that baton handoff, how quickly and efficient the runners can get that off.
Within the first 200 meters, there's already been 2 handoffs.
Exactly.
And so those handoffs will just magnify and how important they are. All right, this coming up is the second leg of the men's 4x200 meter relay.
Yep, and in this race we have Cleveland, Wilson, Lincoln, and Grant.
Cleveland, Lincoln, Wilson, and Grant.
And if it's going like it has all day, I'd watch out for the Grant runner right now.
Grant won the 4x100. This is the 4x200.
I'd expect similar success.
Like we said, there have been 4 events so far. Grant has won 3 of them.
Nothing yet from my own school, Cleveland High School. Where are they?
Well, you look like you had some promise in the distance medley.
Yeah. I did talk to Cleveland runner Noah Adams, and he did say that the best chance he thought for Cleveland sprinters to win on the guys' side would be in this 4x800. Runners getting down into their stance.
All right, the starter's got the gun up. Everybody's set. Whoop. Starter's looking at somebody. There it is, the start. Runner's off. 200 meters they'll run and hand off the baton. Grant out to the lead here, I think. Yep. And here's the first handoff.
Coming in on the first handoff, Grant followed closely by Wilson. Looks like Wilson's going to make a move on the inside.
And that's it, Wilson and Grant. Then Cleveland.
Cleveland and Lincoln jockeying for third. Lincoln pulling away.
Here comes the handoff for the third leg.
Everybody pretty close so far.
Good job.
Grant back in the lead, it looks like. Grant, Wilson, Lincoln, and Cleveland. Final handoff coming up.
And the two runners are tied in front, Grant and Wilson.
Sprint to the finish. Here we go.
Wilson in front. Oh, Grant's runner just stumbled a bit.
Almost fell down. Made a nice recovery, but lost about 5 yards there, almost falling down.
Looks like he's making his move, though.
Wilson out front.
Wilson pulling away. And then Lincoln catches up to Grant, takes second. Wilson, Lincoln, Grant, Cleveland.
That was it. Wilson, Lincoln, Grant, and Cleveland. And the Grant runner, about 20 yards down from the handoff, stumbled, almost fell down, and that slowed him up.
Yeah, I think that's why Lincoln was partly able to catch him right there at the end.
So Wilson, the winner of the second heat. Coming up will be the women's 4x200 meter relay.
And then we're getting the times for that race right now. Wilson finished with 135.18. Lincoln 136.69. Grant in third, 136.88. And then Cleveland coming in fourth, 138.11.
Okay, I'm trying to remember the times, but I believe Benson may have the best time on that. Benson and Wilson will be the two, first and second.
Yeah, Benson was flying in that first heat.
Women's 4x200 meter relay.
You know, with so many people here, there's having some issues with people walking on the track and on the field during events.
Well, I'm a little bit surprised at the last warning. Athletes walking in the middle of the field should not be on the field at all. The javelin throwers are out there.
Yeah, that's something you want to look out for if you see a spear coming flying at you.
Right. I think of any event, that's the one I'm going to be the most afraid of.
Do you yell for in javelin throw if one goes errant?
I don't know.
Luckily, that is only a rubber tip on the javelins because of the turf field.
Now, again, this is the women's 4x200 coming up. After that, it's going to be a really exciting race. It's the one that they call the sprint medley, 100, 100, 200, and 400. So,
yeah, that's going to be the most action-packed race we got all day here. The complete opposite of the 4,000 meter.
yes.
And the girls are getting ready for the 4x200.
Runners are set.
And then they're actually,
Let's see, there's
in Heat 1, we got Franklin, Roosevelt, Jefferson, Madison, and Benson going right now.
this is the women's 800-meter relay, 4x200. Pretty good start. Is that
That looks like Benson out in front early.
all right? There's the handoff. Now we got a big lead.
Looking a lot like the first heat of the boys
Exactly.
4x200. Benson off to the big start.
Benson off to a big start. Benson, Lincoln, and all right, we've had the second handoff. We're on the third leg.
Madison started going to first, surpassing Benson.
It was a big handoff by Madison to get that lead. It looks like Madison, Benson, Lincoln. A surprise for Madison. They have not. They had not been out front at all.
Benson's runner getting a big kick here, covering a lot of ground.
Here comes Benson.
She's passing her on the outside. Benson into the lead.
Nice fluid runner. Benson's going to win this. Benson first, Lincoln second,
It's like Roosevelt third,
and Roosevelt third.
and then a fourth Madison team finishing.
Madison had a problem with the handoff, where they were leading going into that last handoff, and I think the two people ran into each other is what happened.
It was the kick by the last leg of the Benson team that sold the deal on that one.
There's the announcement for the winner of the women's distance medley, and that's Grant. This first leg of the women's 4x200 meter relay, the 800 meter relay, that goes to Benson. Here's the results of the men's 800 meter relay coming up. Madison was in fifth. Fourth place, Cleveland. Third place, Grant.
In case you need them.
Yeah, right on.
Second place, Lincoln. So the first win of the day for Wilson, and that is in the distance medley relay, the men's distance medley relay. Coming up now will be the second heat of the women's 800 meter relay. First heat went to Benson, very impressively.
You heard it. I got it. Okay.
Where are the rest of our anchors? Wait for Wilson's girl. How about that? We need more than one. An anchor and a three.
Kind of one of the events we have coming up here is the 3 by 110 meter hurdles. And I'm looking down at the track where the hurdles are, and I'm not quite sure how they're going to do this. We'll have to wait and see when they set the hurdles up. I mean, you can't run one way and run back the other way because the hurdles might get knocked into your lane. But this is the second leg coming up right here of the 4 by 200 meter women's relay. Somebody's going to have a pretty good time here to beat the time that Benson put up.
Actually, I believe he made a mistake in that first heat one. That was actually Jefferson who finished first. Benson's going to be coming up in this next heat.
Oh, okay. Two teams dressed in blue.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that. First meet went up. So the first heat went to Jefferson, and Benson is in this heat.
And this heat's Cleveland, Benson, Grant, and Wilson.
Cleveland, Benson, Grant, and Wilson. Second heat.
Yeah, the similar colors on the Benson, Grant, and Jefferson uniforms. A bit confusing when you're this high up.
And they're sitting right in front of us, and it's really hard to distinguish those blue jerseys that all of them have on. I'll say this, they're all fast.
Yeah.
All right, runners are set. This is the second heat of the women's 4 by 200, 800 meter relay. Runners are set. There's the start. And off to a big lead right away.
Yeah, that's Wilson.
Wilson off to a big lead. Grant and Benson there, second, third close, and then Cleveland. There's the handoff.
Wilson maintaining that lead they had from the starting position. But now it looks like Benson starting to cover some ground.
So that's Wilson, Benson, Grant, and Cleveland. Here we come for the handoff for the third leg. Wilson in the lead.
And Grant and Benson finishing it
Pretty close.
about even as they make that first or second handoff.
And now
They don't even have the range to come to the starting line, let alone.
That's Grant in the lead.
Grant, Wilson, Benson coming up for the handoff for the final leg. And there's the handoff. Grant off to a quick breakaway. Here we come down the stretch. Grant Benson and Wilson.
Benson's not going to have enough to catch Grant.
No, Grant pulling away. Nice race by Grant. Grant, Benson, Wilson, and Cleveland.
The time's coming in. Grant in first place, 148.51. Still waiting for Wilson and Benson's score.
You know the movie. Airplane, where the voice keeps saying the white zone is for parking of taxis or something only. The lady next door is telling people to get off the track. It's starting to sound like that to me.
You know, this sounds terrible. My dad might get mad at me, but I have never seen Airplane. Maybe a bit before my time.
Your dad might get mad at you.
Everybody told me it's a fantastic movie. I've never got around to it yet, though. I do know I've heard about the scenes with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, though.
Right. You tell your dad you're going to watch it for the sports purposes.
Yeah.
That Kareem is in it. One of the great scenes in movie history when Kareem grabs that little kid and says, "You tried dragging Walton Lanier up and down the court for 48 minutes."
And then the rest of those times coming in. Benson, second place with 1 minute, 50 seconds, .86. And then actually Wilson got DQ'd on that.
Oh,
So
must have passed outside his zone or something.
yeah, so Cleveland finished in third with a time of 2 minutes.
All right, we'll wait for the results for the overall finish from the two heats. So far, our winners in the first relay, the 4x100 men, that was won by Grant. The 4x100 women was won by Grant. The distance medley relay men was won by Franklin. The distance medley relay for women was won by Grant. The 4x200 meter relay for men was won by Wilson.
And coming up, the one I've been waiting for, the 800 meter sprint medley relay.
It's 800 meters total, but it's not 800 meters divided up four ways.
Yeah, it's going to be 100, 100, 200, then the final leg 400.
So you heard that. The sprint medley relay for men will have two heats.
And in this first heat, we're going to have Wilson, Lincoln, Benson, Cleveland, and Jefferson.
All right. We're waiting for the official results from the 4x200 meter relay for women, but I think the winner in that is going to be Grant.
Yeah, they definitely a very, very sizable lead. I would think it'd be enough to surpass the times from the first heat.
Jefferson won that heat.
Yep.
All right, this race coming up is the sprint medley relay. Again, 4 legs, 100, 100, 200, and 400. And you know, after you watch that blazing speed in the 100, 100, and the 200, that guy running the 400 is motivated to keep up the pace.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of pressure being that the anchor for the team. Don't want to blow the lead that you've got.
Well, it appears, Connor, you have a fan club.
Yeah,
people coming by to congratulate you on the job you're doing.
That was my homie Will Sy with me on the JV basketball team. Came up giving me a fist bump. And now I feel bad because I only know the Cleveland runners, so I only have this insider information on a lot of the Cleveland runners. But starting off this first leg, in the sprint medley relay. Jacob Vandelent, my calculus partner, wants to be an engineer when he grows up. Trust me, if you ever need some help on calculus homework, Jacob Vandelent can sprint, but he's also got the math down. Let's see how my calculus partner does here.
This is the first leg. It's 100 meters. So within the first 200 meters, we're going to have 2 quick handoffs. Runners were in the blocks. Now they're up.
And the thing I've always respected about track is in these races, like when you only have 100 meters, you have such a little time to perform. You can't mess up. A lot of pressure.
You can't pause when the gun goes off. You have to be top speed within about 4 steps.
Yep.
There, the gun's away. Runners are away. First 100-meter handoff coming up real quick. And here it comes. There's the first handoff. They'll go back down the back stretch and make another handoff.
And that's Grant surpassing Cleveland.
And here's the second handoff already. They're on the 3rd leg here.
Actually, sorry, that's Benson.
They'll come back to the finish line and hand off again, and that runner will make 1 lap of the track.
Benson ahead of Cleveland.
Benson.
And then that's Wilson in 3rd, gaining ground on Cleveland.
Benson, Cleveland, and Wilson. Here comes the handoff. Only 3 runners left. And it's missed handoffs over on the 3rd leg, and those runners are coming on home.
Yeah, that's Jefferson.
All right, this is 1 lap of the track.
Now Wilson is bolted into 1st.
Long strides from the Wilson runner, and he's in the lead right now. Cleveland is closing.
Yeah, both runners in striking distance.
A distinct height advantage between the first runner and the 3rd runner. Look at those long strides, eat up that ground.
Different running styles.
They're round the turn, they're coming home. Wilson, Cleveland.
That's Gabe Nepper for Cleveland. Looks like he's making a pass on the outside.
And Cleveland, it's going to go down to the wire.
Photo finish. Did Cleveland get their first win of the day?
I don't know. This is heat 1 of the sprint medley relay. We started with 5 teams. We had 3 finish the race.
And we're coming in with the results.
It's close.
I couldn't tell who won that. Showing shades of the Michael Phelps finish from the Olympics back in, I think, 2008. I believe that was decided by 1/100th of a second, something close to that.
It was 1/100th of a second.
And they do give it to Cleveland, 142.45. Close behind that, Wilson, 142.47. 0.2 of a second deciding that finish.
No. 200ths of a second,
Oh,
right?
my bad. I guess the calculus hasn't been doing me too good.
200ths of a second. About the time it takes you to blink.
And then Benson finished 3rd. Lincoln and Jefferson both had troubles on the handoffs getting the DQ.
Yep. All right, that's the first leg of this men's sprint medley relay. We'll have a second leg coming up here. Again, that was 100, 100, 200, and 400. And that first leg happened so fast.
Even though with that sort of a race, you still saw a lot of fluctuation on who was in front. Cleveland at first, Wilson, Benson, they all had their time in the lead. Wilson was actually in 3rd for much of that race until About near the last leg, they pulled away in front for first. Then Cleveland right at the end makes that final kick.
Coming up after this is the 4x800 meter relay. So in that race, each runner will run 2 laps of the track. But we'll finish it up here with the the men's second heat of the men's sprint medley relay.
And then so far in this medley, we have Grant, Franklin, Madison, Roosevelt. But again, it's mostly been Grant and Franklin out of those teams who's been making noise today.
This is the 8th event. We have 14 events. We're underway. That was the gun. Here's the first handoff.
And that's Madison closing in on Benson real fast. Grant and Madison up at the front of the pack.
Here's the handoff for the 200 meter run, third leg. Grant and Madison still up front.
And then in third, Roosevelt, fourth, Franklin.
Grant, Madison, here comes the Grant runner, and that's the tall runner who ran the 100 before. There's the handoff. Grant, Madison, Roosevelt, and Franklin. One lap of the track.
Yep, and Grant has opened up a sizable lead.
Grant, Madison, Roosevelt. Here comes the Roosevelt runner moving into second.
He's covering some ground on the Grant runner now.
He is.
It's starting to be a lot closer.
Round through the third turn.
Roosevelt closing on Grant. They're level.
And here comes the Madison runner also. The 3 runners are bunched up as they come down the stretch. Fans on their feet, they're yelling it's going to be a close race. Madison moves out front. It'll be Madison, Roosevelt, and Grant. And Madison the winner.
And Grant, who led for almost that whole way, finishes third.
Nice finish by the Madison runner.
Yeah, Madison and Roosevelt with a big kick.
All 3 runners made the turn together, and the Madison runner just outkicked everybody. So we'll get the results, and then we're going to go to the 2-mile relay, the 4x800. I'm sure that's official, that the Madison was the winner. Didn't you say that? That it is official?
I'm going to pull up the times. Yeah, for that second heat, Madison with a time of 140.93, Roosevelt 141.59, Grant 142.61, and then Franklin in fourth 151.92.
The Grant runners had that race all the way through to the turn 3 of the last leg.
Yeah, I definitely thought Grant was going to win it easily.
All right, the runners are getting together now for the 2-mile relay. Again, those are 800-meter legs. So the runners are assembling down there for the start. It'll be the men's first, the men's 2-mile relay. We're still waiting for the results on the sprint medley relays, men's and women's. I don't know, is Orlando getting us shots of the shot put down there? I noticed the shot put competition is going on right now. And that's down at the end of the track. All right. I believe, Connor, that's the first race Madison's won tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Madison and Cleveland were always kind of the two schools in the back of the pack on a lot of these races. But both of them finishing in first in their heats on that, on the sprint medley relay.
Okay, this is the women's sprint medley relay coming up.
And there will be two heats of this race as well. In the first heat, Franklin, Grant, Wilson, Lincoln, Madison, Cleveland, Jefferson, and Benson.
Okay, how many teams in that first heat?
That was
Let me look down here in the lanes.
8 teams.
All right.
So actually, I think that would be only
Maybe there's only one heat.
one
here.
heat. That's basically the whole PIL.
Okay. Again, thanks for joining us. Oregon Sports Beat here covering the Varsity City Relays, and we're underway with the women's sprint medley relay, 100, 100, 200, and 400. All right, there's the first handoff. Coming up on the second handoff to start the 200-meter leg.
I believe that's Jefferson in front, followed closely by Madison. Oh, sorry, Grant in front.
Grant with a big lead, got a great third leg handoff. Grant, Madison, Jefferson. Grant with a huge lead. There's the handoff. This is the final leg, the 400 meters. Grant had a huge lead coming down to that handoff.
Excuse me, sir. I'm reporting live and thank you.
They round the turn. Here they are. There's Grant way out front. Madison second. Grant's got to lead a half the backstretch. Let's see if they can hang on to it.
Yeah, the men's team wasn't able to do that on the last medley. But I think this Grant girls team has got it down.
Opening up a bigger lead. So Grant in first. Now we've got a change in second and third.
That's Jefferson.
Jefferson runner making up a lot of ground now, takes over second. Grant,
There's the Grant
Jefferson,
runner.
Lincoln. I'm sorry, that's now we got another fight for second place.
And it is the Lincoln runner finishing second, followed by Jefferson, then Madison.
All right, Grant, the big winner in the women's sprint medley relay.
And finishing up is Cleveland.
I bet it hurts you to say that.
Does a little bit. They give it their all, though. That's all all that matters to me. Got the hearts of warriors, as they say.
You hate to get to the point where you have to rely on moral victories.
And it's still young in the track season. It's only meet number 2.
Okay, the winner in that heat was, in fact, Grant, a big winner in that heat. Lincoln second, and Jefferson third, is that right?
Yep, we do have the times. Grant, winners big time by 7 seconds, 153.69. Lincoln, 2 minutes, 0.46.
Big win.
Jefferson in third, 201.38. Madison in fourth, 203.44. Franklin, 204.16. Wilson, 204.24. And then Cleveland, 211.1.
And there, you were right. There was only one heat in that.
Yep.
So that's the winner of that is Grant.
Yeah, would have been pretty silly to see maybe only one team in the second heat there.
Yes. So what's coming up here? The runners are assembling down there for the.
This looks like somewhat of a distance.
It's the men's 2-mile relay.
Yep.
4x800.
Now, Dave, you've had a long career broadcasting games. Have you ever done a track meet?
Have I ever done a track meet? There's some football games that were track meets.
Nothing like this, though?
Nothing. This is unique. I don't know if I've even heard of any other place that's had a relay, an entire relay meet.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty cool experience. Seeing so many teams, like every high school in the city right now is out here.
Right. I'm impressed. One, we've got every high school that's in the PIL here at once. You know, everybody's competing against everybody. Two, you got all these athletes that are competing because there's all these different events. And so I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Now, in my long career of broadcasting,
Two games,
which spans one other basketball game besides this, I have never done a track meet.
Connor, just you're a natural. Stay at this, okay?
Thanks, Dave.
If you don't wind up guarding LeBron James, stay at this.
Well, given I was on JV as a junior this year, I don't know if I'll be guarding LeBron anytime soon. Hey, never stop believing, though.
Exactly. Well, now the announcer was just talking about the next relay event, the hurdle, and she called it a shuttle. What do you think that means?
Okay. The only thing I can think of is an airport shuttle. But
Yeah. All right, we're underway. This is the 4x800. This is 8 laps of the track. And so we're underway.
Excuse me.
Each of these runners running 2 laps, a half mile. You know, after just watching the sprint medley relay, to look out there and see those guys going this slow is kind of...
yeah, it's like snails out there right now. The funny part is, I mean, it looks like they're jogging, but I feel like if I went out there and started sprinting, I wouldn't be too far ahead of them. They make it look easy.
They do. All right. We've got Lincoln, Franklin,
Then Grant and Cleveland.
and Cleveland. Lincoln, Franklin, Grant, and Cleveland
And in
after 1 lap.
fifth, that's Madison in fifth. Coming in at 1 minute, 15 seconds.
All right, we'll do this both for the men and the women. Then we'll run that hurdle shuttle relay, and then we'll finish this off with the 4x400s.
And that is Lincoln still in front.
Lincoln, Franklin, Cleveland, it looks like.
Nah, sad. I wish it was Cleveland. I think that's Grant, though, in third.
Oh, okay. Cleveland's in fourth, I think,
Yep.
right? Okay. So we've got Lincoln, Grant, Franklin, and Cleveland.
And here comes the first handoff.
Here comes the first handoff. Lincoln first with the handoff.
Here you go, Omar. Here you go, Omar. Here you go, Omar. Here you go, Omar. Run your race, Omar. Run your race. Run your race, Omar. Run your race.
And Lincoln still with a sizable lead. I think all hope is lost for Cleveland right now. They're not even in the frame.
This is the third lap. These are the second runners. 4x800 meters. Turning for home, that is, as we said, Lincoln,
Lincoln, pretty
Grant,
big. Yep.
Franklin, and Cleveland.
Pretty big gaps separating these runners.
Pretty much about the same distance between every single runner,
Yeah,
all the way to the end.
looks almost synchronized.
Lincoln, down the backstretch, still has a sizable lead. In fact, has widened that lead a little bit.
Yeah, he has enough time to think.
Sometimes that's a bad thing.
True.
Grant in second,
That's when the
Franklin third,
This-
Cleveland fourth.
This is when the Lincoln runner starts maybe thinking about the homework he has to do later on tonight.
This is going to be a handoff to the third leg.
But again, with the race this long, still a lot of time and room for
Exactly.
runners in the back to make a move.
Exactly. Here comes the handoff for the third leg. Lincoln,
Grant in striking distance, finishing up, making the handoff.
Franklin third. Here comes Cleveland. We have not finished the handoffs yet, and the Lincoln runner is halfway down the backstretch.
Go, James.
Go, Shank, go, Brian!
But I believe the Grant runner has closed the lead just a bit.
It's making it interesting.
This is the third leg of the 4x800. Yes, the lead has gotten shorter. Second lap of the third leg coming up.
Go, Frank, run.
And it looks like Lincoln is starting to push that lead out again.
Now the lead has opened back up, and we'll come down here for the last handoff.
And there comes the Grant runner into the frame. It's not good when it takes a while to zoom out to get you in the frame.
All right, here comes the Lincoln runner. Lincoln, then Grant,
And he's just lapped one of the Wilson teams.
Here's the last handoff. Lincoln makes the handoff. Grant still closing, approaching the handoff. There's the handoff for Grant. Franklin
And Cleveland.
and Cleveland.
Go Cleveland.
All right. Leader down the backstretch. One more lap.
Coming in at 7 minutes 40 seconds with 1 lap to go.
This is the men's 4x800 relay.
And the Grant runner is starting to close in.
Right, it's Lincoln, Grant, Franklin, and Cleveland.
Does he have one more kick in him to make it interesting down that last stretch?
Well, the lead now is about 15 yards. Around turn 3.
Lincoln holding off Grant.
Here we come down the stretch. Lincoln with about a 10-yard lead.
And Grant is closing, but I don't think they're going to be able to close in time.
Lincoln runner picks up the pace a little bit, and it's going to be Lincoln. Lincoln, Grant, where the whole length of the stretch back to Franklin will finish 3rd. Cleveland's trying to hang on for 4th.
There is Franklin finishing up, and Cleveland's about to come into the frame.
And Cleveland will get 4th. That'll be our finish. Lincoln with the win. The men's 4x800 meter relay.
It's Lincoln, 8.43, 8.45, or 8.46 for Grant, and 8.56 for Franklin, and then finishing over 9 minutes was Cleveland.
All right. Let's see, is there just one heat for this event too?
Yeah.
All right.
I think we'd be here pretty long if events like this in the 4,000 meter relay were
Oh.
2 heats.
We still have athletes on the track finishing the men's 4x800. And there's the finish. Okay, so that win goes to Lincoln, their first win of the night. Not night, day.
Beautiful day.
Don't confuse when there's sunshine. All right, next up will be the women will run the 2-mile relay, the 4x800.
And we're used to the basketball and football start times of 7:30, so.
Yeah. It won't be dark at 7:30.
Yeah, true. Now, Dave, while we've got a little bit of time, did you fill out a March Madness bracket?
But are we sure that this is not another heat for the men? Yeah, this is another heat for the men.
Oh, I guess I was wrong earlier. My bad.
ESPN reported they had 12 million people filled out brackets for the Final Four. After the Michigan State loss, there were 6 people still left who were correct.
Yeah, I wasn't right after the. I was one of those people to get the bracket busted by the Middle Tennessee Michigan State game.
There were 6 people left. I want to know who those 6 people were.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee State alumni.
They had to be, right?
Or parents.
Had to be. Or parents, yeah. All right, this is, in fact, the second heat of the men's 4x800 2-mile relay.
And in this heat, we have Wilson, Benson, Lincoln, and Franklin.
I just wanted to remind our engineer, Alva. Alva, it is not winter, it's summer.
Is that because he's rocking the coat right now?
Yes, very stylish.
Hey, you gotta look good though. You can't throw out the fashion just when the sunshine comes around.
Yeah, I guess. All right, we're coming around for the home stretch for the first lap of the first leg of the men's 4x800, and that is
Benson.
Madison.
I think that's actually Lincoln.
Wait a minute. Benson, here we go.
And it is Wilson.
It's Wilson, then Grant, then Madison. Here we come back. Big lead for Wilson. Wilson with a big lead, coming down to the last 2 hurdles.
Wow, but Lincoln covered a lot of ground on that run. Or sorry, Madison.
And it is
Madison making a pass maybe.
Madison and Wilson. There's the pass. Madison in the lead. Last 3 hurdles. Madison looks like they're going to win this. Madison.
Wilson closing in 2. It is Madison. Wilson finishing second. Last in comes Benson.
Nice run by Madison on the last leg there. All right, I'll give you the. Well, hang on just a second. I'll give you the. All right, I want to give you the update. The public address announcer just gave those to the crowd. I want to tell you the standings going into the last event. For the men, 8th place is Benson, 7th place is Roosevelt, 6th place is Franklin, 5th is Madison, 4th is Grant, 3rd is Cleveland, 2nd is Wilson, and in 1st place On the men, for all events, Lincoln. For the women, 9th place, Roosevelt. 8th place, Cleveland. 7th place, Franklin. 6th place, Benson. 5th place, Madison. 4th place, Jefferson. 3rd place, Wilson. 2nd place, Lincoln. And 1st place, Grant. So Grant and Lincoln, the two teams leading now. The Grant men, the Lincoln men, the Grant women, those are our leaders right now going into the final event. That final event will be the 4x400. So 4 runners, 4 laps of the track.
Again, this is only one of 2 events that will be at the state meet this year.
I'm pretty sure the hurdle relay won't be one of the events at the state meet.
A bit unorthodox.
Now, that went off without much incident. Can you see the men running something like that? I mean, running that in the state meet where they have hurdlers and they're flying.
I mean, I think it could be done. The only issue might have been with the process in which they tagged the next runner. They weren't. It wasn't a. They were crossing a line, so I think it might be a little bit hard to regulate if the person's going when their line's actually crossed or if they're getting a little bit of a head start.
I know there'll be a day someday when you have some kind of a collision or something. Because somebody finishes early and somebody's late, the other runners are coming back.
Exactly. You better hope all your athletes are pretty equal.
Pretty equal. All right, we've got the runners all lined up. The relay runners are lined up. We got the people out front. This first heat of the men's 4x400.
This is the first meet of this event. We have Grant, Lincoln, Franklin, and Benson.
And you can see a lot of the athletes have gone down into the corner of the 4th turn and are lined up there to cheer on runners, I think.
Yeah.
And some of them have managed to edge out onto the track. And so...
Yeah, better make sure that the makeshift student sections are completely off the track.
Can you see that down there, Orlando? Oh, down in the corner, the 4th corner down here, where the students have kind of made a little makeshift cheering section down there for the runners as they come home, and they're out on the track. They got to get those people off the track before they can start this race.
We all do.
All right, we're back at the start line. We're getting ready for the start. 4x400 meters. Runners are in the blocks. Okay, runners are up. They're set. And now they get up. 4x400. Each runner a lap of the track. I think that's why the students are down there in the final turn. They want to get everybody home.
I definitely think track is one of the sports where the crowd can actually make an impact. Might give you a little bit of extra boost near the end if you're starting to get tired.
Go to Autzen Stadium and see that.
Yeah.
All right, we're underway. Runners are out, and that's a lead.
That looks like Benson bolting ahead.
It is. Benson with a big lead on this first leg, 4x400 meters.
They're coming by the student sections.
And you can hear the crowds down there. The crowds are cheering. Benson.
Now Franklin making a pass.
Franklin getting close. Benson holds it off the runner. They're coming down for the first exchange. It is Franklin. Franklin with the lead on the first exchange. Now Franklin with a big lead. And where did Benson go?
Benson dropped down to third. Lincoln looks like passed him by for second place.
Here we come around, and it's Franklin, Lincoln, Benson.
And then actually that's Grant in third.
Oh, Grant, okay. But Franklin with a big lead coming down for the second exchange. Here we go. There's the exchange. Franklin out to a big lead.
Benson just finishing their handoff.
And this is the first of two heats.
And the Roosevelt runner's kicking it into a second speed right now. And it looks like he is just about to make his pass. The Franklin runner starting to hold him off a bit, though.
Franklin around the corner. Franklin with the lead, then Roosevelt. Lincoln and Benson. Franklin coming down. Franklin's had to lead this entire race, coming down for the final handoff. And there's the pass. All right. Down the back stretch, final leg, Franklin, Roosevelt.
Can Lincoln make it interesting?
Did we say Roosevelt? Lincoln.
Lincoln, yep. It's Franklin, Lincoln, Grant, then Benson in the back.
Here we come. Franklin down the stretch, getting cheers from the crowd. Franklin's led this entire race, going to go wire to wire.
Here comes Lincoln, though. Does he have one more kick?
No, it's going to be Franklin. First heat goes to Franklin. 3:30.
331.58 or 56. Lincoln 332.96. And there's Grant. And then here comes our last runner from Benson. Grant finishes with a 3.43. Franklin with a 3.31.
All right, that's the first heat, and it goes to Franklin.
Sorry, Benson with a 3.49. Finishing fourth.
A wire-to-wire win. All right, we'll have a second heat. All right, getting ready for the second heat, second and last heat for the men. So the final race of the evening will be the women's 4x400 relay. Okay, the runners have moved up to the blocks.
In the second heat, it's going to be Wilson, Madison, Cleveland, Roosevelt, and Jefferson. And the time they need to beat for first place finish would be about 3:31.
3:31. Okay, they're still waiting for the runners to get down to the blocks.
You're supposed to be ready.
All right, false start, so we'll get back in the blocks. Right now, the standings in the men's event. Lincoln 1, Wilson 2, Cleveland 3.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
There's the
here we
gun.
go.
All right, coming down to the final turn.
Now it looks
First
like
leg.
Cleveland making a run, going to pass by the Roosevelt runner for first.
Cleveland in the lead, Roosevelt second.
That is Noah Adams, a senior.
There's the handoff. Leg 2 of the 4x400 men.
Now pay close attention to the Cleveland team and the Wilson team. Both of them high up on the standings. Their finish will be crucial to how they finish.
Cleveland with a big lead right now. About 20-yard lead for the Cleveland runner. Cleveland, Wilson.
And then Madison and Roosevelt.
Madison and Roosevelt. Here we come around the corner. You can hear the fans cheering.
Now Wilson's starting to cover a lot of distance.
Cleveland still in the lead. Coming down for the handoff for the third leg. It's Cleveland.
That's Stellan Roberts.
Cleveland, Wilson, Madison, and Roosevelt. There's the handoff. Cleveland still in the league. Running the third leg for Cleveland is...
I actually didn't get a good look.
Oh, okay. Still the lead, maintaining the same distance. Cleveland, Wilson, Madison, and Roosevelt. Third leg, 4x400, heat 2. Need about a 3:31 to beat the first heat.
And now Cleveland's starting to get a little bit more distance on their lead. That is Peter Gregory, Jr.
Okay, Peter Gregory opened up the lead down the stretch, turns it on, stretches it out. Going to be the last handoff. And here we go.
Gregory was a part of the 4x400 team last year that set a Cleveland school record.
Cleveland looking good. Into the backstretch. Opened up a big lead now.
And that's Gelato Soltessa hoping to close it out.
Cleveland and Wilson still first and second, but now Cleveland's opened up about a 30-yard lead. Here comes Cleveland. Around the fourth turn. Down the stretch. Big lead. It's going to be Cleveland.
Followed in closely by Wilson.
And the time on this is
3:30. It looks like they got it.
Looked like about 3:30. Looks like Cleveland might have won this race.
Yes.
Cleveland, Wilson, Madison, and here comes Roosevelt. So that's the finish, and it does look like Cleveland. You'll have to check the time
Yeah.
there, but it looks like Cleveland has won
3:30.98.
the 4x400 relay. And we'll set up now for the women's 4x400 relay. But that win did appear to go to Cleveland.
Yep.
You heard that, 2 heats for the women.
Hey, girls, come up.
Line up in the order that you're running, ladies.
That's fine. In the order you're done. Good. You got the easy job. You stay in your lane all the way. Make your change there.
Again, thanks for joining us here on Oregon Sports Beat. We've been bringing you lots of sports action over the last year, and we'll continue to do so. I'm Dave Hall, along with Connor Bergen. Connor, thanks for helping us tonight on this, or today on this. Connor's a student here at Cleveland High School. Did a basketball game with me earlier in the season. We did Cleveland and Franklin here at Cleveland. And Connor, you do a great job.
Thanks. I know my Cleveland. I know
No?
my Cleveland info. I'm the Oregon Sports Beat Cleveland insider.
No, you do a great job. It's not so easy, you know.
Yep. Yep. Believe me, the assignment of a track meet seemed a little daunting to me at first.
What do you think now?
Not too bad. It's been fun.
It has been fun.
The viewers at home get to listen to me a lot.
Pyramid. This side. Okay. Lane 4, here's your pyramid.
Okay, we're going to do the women's. We're going to do heat 1. We'll do 2 heats for the women. Oh, 1 heat. So that's what we're going to